Well, hi and welcome to this video on the top 8 reasons why I want to leave the UK and emigrate to the fantastic Mediterranean island of Cyprus. Well, as you can see, I'm sitting in my car. It's not the most salubrious of places, but there's a reason for that. So in this video, I'm going to take you through that reason and also lots of other reasons why I'm going to be moving to Cyprus. So let's kick off with number 1, the reason I'm sitting in the car more than anything else. Number 1, the weather. Well, yes, you can see here it's I'm sitting in the car because it's pouring down with rain. This is the norm in the UK. This isn't the unusual part. This to me is the norm. And you'll find I actually did a video why I'm wanting to leave the UK just up there. There's a little link to it up there if you'd like to have a look at that. But I'm not talking about why I'm leaving the UK on this one. I'm talking about why I'm going to Cyprus. And that's because Cyprus, wonderful Mediterranean island, a decent humidity, not silly humidity there, but about 300 days of sunshine. Now, what I'm used to over here is in the winter, we get below 0 temperatures. But over there, even in the winter, you tend to get temperatures in double figures of centigrade. I would measure everything in centigrade. So you're talking 10 centigrade upwards. But most of the time when I'm over there in December, January, February, the temperature's sitting sort of 16, 17, 18, maybe 20 degrees centigrade. That's the same as an English summer weather. So for me, going across to Cyprus is giving me an awful lot of sunny weather, and I love the sun. Go up to Troodos at Mount Olympus, and you'll find that you've got snow an awful lot of the year. Yes, Cyprus is one of those islands you can go skiing in the morning and sunbathing in the afternoon, and that's a regular occurrence for some people. There's a ski club up there. There's all sorts. So number 1 reason why I'm going to Cyprus is the Cypriot Mediterranean weather. Number 2, why I'm going to Cyprus. Well, it's the economy. It's the cost of living and the economy. And over there, it's not a great deal different to what the UK is in general terms, but there are different ways of living, and those different ways of living have an impact on what it actually costs you to live. We don't, over there, you don't tend to spend a huge amount of electricity on heating, although most houses do need heating in the winter. But you do spend a lot more electricity on air conditioning, for instance, in the summer. And air conditioning is needed. There's very few places over here which needs air conditioning. But food bills, cost of living, generally very, very similar over here. So I'm not going to be dipping out on anything. Cars can tend to be a little bit more expensive over here, especially second-hand cars. But cars do tend to last an awful lot better over there, so therefore you get your value out of them. They tend to rust a little bit less, and they tend to have longer lifespans. So cars are a little bit more expensive. Houses, I would say, are noticeably more expensive, and the prices have been going up recently. But the overall cost of living, the overall idea of eating out and dining out, especially for me as a semi-retiree, I'll come back to that soon, is really advantageous. So number 2 is the good cost of living and the economy. Number 3, I've just mentioned about dining out, and that's food. The food over in Cyprus is fantastic. There's an awful lot of fresh food, and it's that Mediterranean lifestyle which I keep on mentioning. You'll find I talk about that an awful lot. The Mediterranean lifestyle, including the dining habits, really works well. Going out to have a Greek Cypriot type meze meal can last a long time. They tend to be, it's a slow eating process, and it's a really enjoyable social process. And if you go to some of the meze bars and the meze restaurants in Cyprus, there are some fantastic small businesses which really, really have some incredible food. If you're into all the Greek type food and the Cypriot type food, this is the place for you. But it's also tends to be very healthy food. Lots and lots of salads, lots of olive and olive oil based products over there, rather than the highly processed stuff that we tend to get here. Now, don't get me wrong, they still have all the high processed food that we have over here, the fast food restaurants, the chains that you get. So it is available. You're not going away from that. But there's an awful lot more really, really high class food, which is healthy food over there. And it's enjoyable food. It really is tasty. So my number 3 is food. Number four is the community. Now, yes, number 4 is the community. The people over there are fantastic. It's a very safe place to live. There's very, very little noticeable crime. The people over there, it's a very multicultural, but not multicultural society, but not the way in the UK is. The UK tends to be very in little camps. We have lots of cultures of different backgrounds, but they tend to be in little clusters of people. What I find over when I'm in Cyprus, especially in the Paphos area where I'm going to, it's very, very multicultural. You do tend to get people from all over the world, and they do seem to get along really, really well. Yes, they do have problems like any other European country does, but in comparison to the UK, it's a lot less of a bother. People just integrate so well. And also, the Greek Cypriot people, I just find, are incredibly welcoming, incredibly warm, incredibly supportive. Now, I'm desperately trying to learn Greek, and every time I go to Cyprus, I speak Greek as often as I possibly can. But it's noticeable. Because I make an effort, they seem to really appreciate that, and this gives me lots of support to try and increase my vocabulary. I've made some really good friends over there, Greek Cypriots, but also other people from other countries. Georgia, I've got some friends who are Hungarian. I've got lots of people over there that I've made contact with, and there's a nice, really good community atmosphere. There's also an awful lot of expat Brits. I don't want to go to Little Britain, but I do want to be amongst people where I can get into a community very quickly. And there's an awful lot of expat Brits, and especially expat ex-forces Brits, which I go into that as well. So we've got an instant community we can get into, but they'll also introduce us into other more local communities. So the community to me is really enjoyable and really essential to make our trip and our future life work. So number 4 is community. Now, before we get to number 5, I've got a big favour to ask you. While you're watching this video, just take a moment and hit the subscribe button below. Just a little red subscribe button below. Have you done it yet? Take a second and do it and then come back. Yeah, that's the one. And while you're down there, hit the little notification bell and tick the all, because that will get you notified whenever I upload a new video to YouTube. Also, give me a thumbs up if you would on this video, because the combination of all 3 of those makes a huge difference, and they cost you nothing. If you want to as well, leave me a comment in the comments below, because I love to read your comments. I'll try to get back to as many of them as I can. But why am I asking this? Well, it helps YouTube's algorithm to get more and more people to see these videos, and if that's the case, then hopefully I can get this little channel at the moment monetized, and any money that I do make from this is going to help towards my trip to my emigration to Paphos. So anyway, you can do that. You're helping me, and it doesn't cost you a single penny. It really makes a difference to me, though. Anyway, back to the video with number 5. Well, the rain stopped luckily for a few moments. I managed to get outside the car and get some fresh air. So number 5 is the history and culture in Cyprus. It's a fantastic island. It's got such a rich history which goes back centuries. The birthplace of Aphrodite, and an awful lot of Greek mythology and Cypriot mythology based around this place. It's fabulous. There's also an awful lot of architectural digs you can go to. They're all over the island, and some fascinating sites to see if you're into history. There's a huge dig just beside the castle in Paphos, and that costs about €4.50. It costs next to nothing. It's a huge site, and you can go in there and see some ancient mosaics and some ongoing archaeological digs. And if you're over a certain age, I think it's about 65, then you get in for free. It's even better value. Not only that, even just walking down from the shopping mall down to the harbour in Paphos, you walk past archaeological digs all over the place. Now, if you want a more recent history, the history of Cyprus over the last century or two has been astounding. From the Ottoman Empire going in there to the British, and then to the separation in 1974 with the war that they had there, which still separates the island today. The world's final remaining divided city in Nicosia. It's an amazing place to visit, an amazing place to live. So for me, a lot of it is down to the history and culture of the place. Now, number 6 for me is healthcare. I know we have the NHS in the UK, but over there,
yes, you have to pay for your healthcare, but the standard of it and the availability of it and the accessibility of it is fabulous. When you go over there, you're going to need private health insurance, but it's not particularly expensive. But once you reach retirement age in the UK, your NHS contributions are transferred over to Cyprus. So therefore, as far as I know they are anyway, so therefore on that, I think there's a small administration charge on any action you have, but after that, you're covered on your NHS, which makes it really, really attractive for older people to go over there, because you know that you've got good health care. The hospitals and the dentists are of top quality, they are immaculate, they're well stocked with all the new latest technology, and even better, for instance, my dentist is over there. I went into my dentist to have some work done. I went in on a Monday, I was seen straight away, x-rayed straight away, 3D scanned, and the work, which was 2 implants, was done 2 days later on the Wednesday. I would have waited months in the UK to get onto a dentist calendar for that. So for me, the healthcare, the health standards are fantastic, and of course you're living in a much more conducive environment to good, healthy living. Now, number 7 for me is work prospects. Now, I've had various careers over my time, but what I've been doing for the last 30 years or so, in between other work, is I've been a professional entertainer. I'm a singer, a musician, and I do an awful lot of entertainment venues in the UK. Well, that's drying up a lot in the UK. Clubs are closing, venues are closing, and there's a general feel-bad attitude. Where I'm going to in Paphos, though, it's a resort town. It's got infrastructure which is geared around making people enjoy themselves. It's got a load of hotels, and all of them put entertainment on. And that's my forte, going in and doing hotel entertainment and doing some of the bars on the lunch times. I'm also not stepping on toes. There's work aplenty. In fact, they're looking out for people. So for me, even though I'm in my 60s, work prospects are vitally important, and for me, going to Paphos is a no-brainer. Excellent work prospects. Now, before we hit number 8, don't forget, leave some comments below. Let me know what you think about going to Cyprus. Is it something which interests you? Are you already living there? Is it something you've already taken up and you're already reaping the benefits? Let me know if there's something which you think is particularly bad about Cyprus. Up to now, I've seen a lot of positives and very few negatives, but there's bound to be some negatives. So let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate your comments, and I'll try to reply to as many as I can. Anyway, on to the final one. Well, yeah, number 8, Mediterranean lifestyle. And I sort of hit onto this a little bit when I was talking about the food, but it's bigger than the food, it's more than the food. The Mediterranean lifestyle is that laid-back lifestyle. The zigga-ziggar is a term they use over there, slowly, slowly. And the whole pace of life is different in the UK. It's not a lazy pace of life, it's a very hard-working pace of life, but it's done at a more manageable pace, which is less stressful, more enjoyable. But also you've got the fantastic Mediterranean weather. It gets hot in the summer, yes, very hot, but not silly hot. You can manage it. It's not burning desert type hot. But also when it gets to the winter time, yes, you can get snow, you can get all sorts of things and cold temperatures, but generally in the winter time over there, it's equivalent to a British summertime. We usually go over there in December, January, February time, and it's between 16 and 20 degrees centigrade normally. It really is a comfortable atmosphere. It's also got the beauty though, because you've got the Mount Olympus and the Troodos Hills, you can go up there, you can ski a lot of the year. And there's 300 days of sunshine on the main part. So you can go be skiing in the morning and you can be sunbathing in the afternoon. That 300 days of sunshine makes it really comfortable, really enjoyable. So for me, that's great. Combine that with the food, combine that with the whole lifestyle. The Mediterranean lifestyle certainly is to be cherished and enjoyed. And that's what we're hoping to do by immigrating to Cyprus. Well, thanks very much for watching this video. Really is appreciated that you have. Don't forget, as I say, give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe, because it makes a big difference to the channel. But drop me a comment as to what you think about Cyprus, whether you want to go there, whether you already live there. But until the next video, this is Brian saying bye-bye on my path to Paphos.